Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Chemistry Form 1. Please subscribe, like and comment. You can view more videos at Pinky Science Academy. The playlist is there. What is a drug? Drug abuse. It's taking a drug for a purpose other than what it is meant for. Give two importances of studying chemistry. It's a career subject. It helps to improve the standards of living through manufacture of drugs. The apparatus there, it's a crucible and it is used for heating solid that requires strong heating. The next apparatus there is a defragmenting spoon. It is used for holding substances being burnt in the lab. Give two reasons why most laboratory apparatus are made of glass. One, glass is easy to clean. Again, glass is visible and it does not react with chemicals. What is a flame? It's a mass of burning gases. Students from Vuka High School lit a Bunsen burner and got the flame shown. You're supposed to what's the color of the flame part labeled A, that is pale blue, delta pale blue zone. A wooden splint was slipped through region B, that's it there. And of the above flame, the splint was burnt as shown in that diagram. You can see the diagram very well. Supposed to explain why the splint was burnt as shown. This is because the burning splint was exposed in an unluminous frame, of course, and the burning splint partially burnt in regions that were in contact with the pale blue zone. Heating solids in a test tube or boiling tube is a part of a task a learner is supposed to undertake. Precautions that the learner should observe: always hold the test tubes using a test tube holder, and then you extinguish the flames that are not in use to avoid accidents. A Form 1 student wanted to separate and obtain iodine from sodium chloride from a mixture of the two, and the experiment is as shown. The mixture was heated for some time and left to cool. On cooling, shiny black crystals and white residue were observed on the surface of the watch glass in the beaker. Name the shiny black crystals. Those are the iodine crystals. White crystals, they are the sodium chloride crystals. What property of iodine makes it possible to be corrected in the watch glass? It's because it is sublimes. Explain why water is not used as a solvent in extraction of nuts. It's because water does not dissolve oil. But when you use another solvent like propanol, it is soluble in oil. Oil dissolves in propanol. What salt is normally sprinkled in roads during winter in temperate countries. State and explain why salt is put on roads. That is to clear ice from roads by lowering the melting point of the ice. Substance A is highly soluble in propanol and B has slow solubility. Which of the two substances will travel the shortest distance on an adsorbent material during paper chromatography? Substance B, of course, because it has low solubility. This is because the substance that is more soluble and less adsorbed is carried furthest, while substances that are less soluble and more adsorbed are carried a short distance. The next question: which other property determines the distance traveled by the substance that is absorbent of the material? Give two applications of chromatography. It's used in sports to identify burnt substances, e.g. steroids in urine. It's also used in pharmaceutical industry to test purity of drugs. The setup below was used to separate two miscible liquids, Q and I. Identify two mistakes. One is that the inlet and outlet were exchanged, and then there is no heat at the mixture. Where there is a mixture of Q and T here, they're supposed to heat. Identify distillate X, that is T, because it's the one that has less boiling point. The laboratory rules that would be applied to prevent accidents. Mistaking hydrochloric acid to distilled water, that is labeling of the chemical. A student burnt after secretly writing up a magnesium ribbon. The flames should always be switched off when they are not in use. A student got severe stomachache after eating some bread during chemistry session in the lab. So you should not eat anything in the lab. Apparatus that are used to measure accurate volume: pipette, burette, and volumetric flask. Those three are used to measure accurate volumes. Name the best method that you would use to separate the following: kerosene and crude oil, fractional distillation; salt and water, evaporation; iron filings and sulfur, use of a magnet; oil from nuts, use solvent extraction. The diagram below represents paper chromatogram for 3 brands of juice suspected to contain burnt food colorings. So you're supposed to circle the spots which show the burnt food colorings. Because the food coloring is present, burnt food colorings are present in R and M, you should only circle the spots that are not in the same point as those of K. Yeah, so show the solvent front. I have already labeled for you the baseline as well as the solvent front. Classify the following processes as either chemical or physical: obtaining kerosene, chemical; sorting of milk, chemical. What is an element? It's a pure substance that cannot be split into anything simpler by chemical means. Give the symbols of the following elements. Sodium is Na, calcium is Ca, phosphorus is P. Name the element present in the following compound. Zinc sulfide, IDE, means that the compound has 2 elements, that is zinc and sulfur. Sodium oxide, IDE, again, it has 2 elements, sodium and oxygen. Then here you have, in the boxes provided, you show how molecules in solid, liquid, and gases are spread in terms of kinetic theory. Solid particles, they are closely packed. Liquid particles, they have few spaces in between them. Gas particles are further away from each other. Study the chart below and answer the questions that follow. That is water and sand. You form water-sand mixture. So when you filter, that is when you will get solid Y, which is sand, and liquid X, which is water. Name the process B, that is filtration. Give one reason why it's possible to separate the mixture above using process B. It's because water can be able to pass through the tiny pores of the filter paper, while sand molecules, they are large, they cannot be able to pass through there. Give the name of liquid X, that's water; solid Y, sand. If common salt is added to wax, what will be the effect of the melting point of wax? The melting point of wax will be lowered because impurities lower the melting point of substances. So when pure ethanol is heated, it changes to gas at 78.5 degrees Celsius. What is the name given to this temperature? It's called boiling point. What will happen if this temperature, if an impurity like water is added to ethanol? The boiling point will rise, or that boiling, the temperature will rise. A student mixed iron filings and sulfur with sulfur in a watch glass. The mixture was heated and a new substance formed. Is this a chemical or physical change? It's a chemical change. reason, a new substance is formed and the change cannot be reversed. So after heating the iron ferrings and sulfur mixture, you cannot go back to iron or sulfur. That's why we say it's a chemical change. Give 2 reasons and support your answer. I have given the reasons already. Give the chemical name for the substance formed, that is iron 2 sulfide. Write a sample word equation for the following: magnesium plus oxygen, of course it will give magnesium oxide, carbon plus oxygen, carbon 4 oxide. Name the processes represented by the letters shown. U, that is change of state from solid to gas directly, that is sublimation. R, change of state from gas to solid directly, that is deposition. V is melting, that is change of state from solid to liquid. And W is freezing, which is the change of state from liquid to solid. Name 2 substances which undergo the processes R and U. Those are substances that sublime: iodine, iron 3 chloride, aluminium chloride, benzoic acid, and carbon 4 oxide. The diagram below shows commonly used apparatus in the lab. That's a Bunsen burner. You have been given part X and part Y. And you are given the question. Give the name of the apparatus and state it's used. It's a Bunsen burner. It is used in the lab for heating substances. State the uses of X and Y. X, it's where, that is chimney. It's where the lab gases when ignited burn to produce a flame on top of it. Y, it's collar. It regulates the amount of light of air entering the chimney. In an experiment to separate a mixture of 2 liquids A and B, the students set up the apparatus as shown. Name the apparatus. That's a separating funnel. The property that makes it possible to be separated, that's density. One of the liquid is denser than the other. Liquid B here, it's denser than liquid A. Which other method can be used to separate the 2 liquids? You can use decanting or also use of a dropper. But the other methods are not as accurate as use of separating funnel. The graph below is a heating curve of ice. Answer the questions that follow. Explain why there is no change in temperature. That is because the heat supplied is used to break the forces of attraction, holding the particles together. In which state is water in region RS? It's in gas state. That's the upper region there. PQ, it's in liquid state. On the same axis, plot the graph that would be used if some salt was added to ice. Salt will lower the melting point of ice, and therefore it will be just below it, and it will melt over a range of temperatures. Give 2 reasons why aluminous frame is not used for heating. Because it does not contain completely burnt carbon particles. It also produces soot. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to subscribe. See you in the next video. Thank you.